Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Don't miss our post-game show after Game 5 of Memphis versus Oklahoma City tomorrow night. Now let's look at Game 4 because it's filled with lots of intrigue. The bottom line is Kendrick Perkins shouldn't be playing at all. It's 4-on-5. The problem is that Collison gets into foul trouble on a lot of BS calls, and I'm not sure what the deal is, but Brooks has got his hands tied because he can't take Perkins out when Collison is in such foul trouble. But what he can control is doubling Z-Bo and Gasol on the post. They don't do it enough. Think about it this way. If they'd done it one extra time in the regulation, they would have won. But instead, they're letting them have their way. They're much too efficient down there. And as the Clippers did, so are the Thunder, not doubling, and they're going to lose the series because of it. Collison's first foul was ridiculous since Zach Randolph pushes him with both arms out of the way. Collison fronts Z-Bo well, but on the lob, you'll see Collison's right arm hook Gasol's arm down. Pretty good catch by the ref. On Collison's third foul, you'll see Gasol initiate all the contact with Collison simply holding his ground. Now I feel bad for him. This was the worst of them all. You can see Collison doing his best to keep his hands off, all the while Z-Bo is using his body to push off Collison. In the post, Collison is simply holding his ground, then puts an arm straight up to challenge the shot. I have no idea what Joe Crawford saw here. The fifth call was a complete phantom too, as he pokes the ball away with his left hand, hardly any contact at all. I think Collison got so frustrated he didn't know what to do, so he tried grabbing Z-Bo's shorts, but that didn't work either. Now let's look at the Perkins problem, which is twofold. Not only is it 4-on-5 because he's such a bad offensive player, it allows the Defensive Player of the Year, Gasol, to roam and get in everyone else's way. Watch how he stops Durant's drive and can still force this ugly shot to miss. Gasol is so unconcerned with Perkins, he can come all the way over to the strong side to help on this drive and still get back in time to get a block on a simply awful finish by Perkins. Again, Gasol can plug up the middle on this drive and then say "Genial" to Perkins for shooting the 15-foot jump shot. Meanwhile, Collison's offense is good enough that he can score on a jump hook over the Spaniard. And Collison can make beautiful passes out of the high post, something Perkins can only dream of doing. So what's working for the Thunder? The high screen and roll with Z-Bo's man. He's way too slow to get back on the pick and pop to Ibaka. And there's no way he can keep up with Kevin Durant if he comes up to hedge. Let's look at the post-up play by Gasol and Zach Randolph. Just like the Clippers, the Thunder seem unwilling or unable to double team them in the post. And the Thunder are suffering the same fate as the Clippers because these post-up plays are killing them to the tune of 1.05 points per possession last night. Memphis does a great job of getting lots of motion before they isolate Z-Bo on his favorite spot, the left post. They should be sending someone to double who's long and athletic and will bother Randolph. Well, who should that be? That's right, Kevin Durant is guarding poor shooting Tayshaun Prince, and OK should be inviting him to shoot as many shots as possible. Instead, they let Z-Bo abuse Ibaka with a face-up jumper. Same situation again, but instead of doubling him immediately, the too small Reggie Jackson waves a hand by him as he finishes at the rim. Gasol goes to work against Ibaka and the same result with a nice spin move to the baseline for a layup. How can they not double team this? They actually have Durant doubled quickly on the catch. Hallelujah! But Durant quickly backs away, leaving poor Ibaka to get scored on. What are they doing out there? Let's move to crunch time, and we've already seen the success they've had by screening with Z-Bo's man. Instead, Durant does the one thing that Memphis is ranked third in defending: isolations. Prince keeps him in front and pressures the miss. A real head scratcher was Brooks playing Cephalosha instead of Kevin Martin, who was having a very good scoring game. There was no need to have a good defender out there to guard Tony Allen, so why would Brooks sacrifice offense like this? Fantastic denial by Tony Allen on Durant, and here's where Kevin Martin might have been able to create something. Instead, Ibaka rushes a shot and is blocked. With OKC up by 1, you can see how Memphis loves to get the ball down low by screening the ball with Z-Bo, have him dive to the rim, and then hit Gasol at the high post who tries to get the pass to Randolph. OKC plays this perfectly and also contains the sideline screen and roll very well. However, Perkins is in position to help on the roll man, not Sefolosha, who comes over way too far and gives up penetration on the recovery. Conley hits the gorgeous right-handed shot, but was only 2 for 6 on righty shots all game. OKC's offense is problematic because Durant ends up staying on the one side of the court way too often. He should be getting cross screens and using his speed to get open. Instead, Zebo does a beautiful hedge to allow Tony Allen to recover and then sneaks in there with a strip of KD. Possible foul, but it all happened very fast. Down 2 with 11 seconds to go, the Thunder run a nice double pin down for Durant. Tony Allen gets caught foolishly reaching in, and that allows Durant into the lane. OKC smartly flared Ibaka to the corner for the potential game winner 3, and that forced Gasol out of the lane, unable to help. Problem is, this came all too fast, and it gave Memphis a shot at winning the game at home. The Thunder don't get a bucket, and in overtime, Reggie Jackson foolishly goes for a shot fake by Tony Allen. He should have been celebrating this potential brick of a shot, but instead, Allen makes a nice move to finish at the basket. OKC wisely goes back to a screen and roll with Randolph's man, but because Perkins is in, Gasol can roam the lane and block out any potential drives. All they get is a rushed Fisher 3 that hits the backboard. Finally, it took overtime for OKC to double Gasol in the post, but Fisher isn't much of a deterrent. Gasol is able to get the ball to Fisher's man wide open in the corner, but he can't hit the shot. Why didn't they do this all game? And look at this possession. Down 1, they double with Kevin Martin. Finally, someone big enough to affect Gasol. He quickly passes the ball and OKC expertly rotates, giving Prince the shot, the exact player they want to shoot the ball. With a 2-for-1 situation happening, OKC wants to run as much clock as possible, but instead, Durant hurries for a pull-up. He slips on the way up and probably would have been better off throwing the ball to Kevin Martin instead of trying to shoot it. Up 1, Memphis runs some clock before doing a 2-man game with Gasol and Conley. They contain it very well, but Gasol is just too good. Down 3, you have 2 choices. Go for the quick 2, foul, and see what happens. Or you can go for the game-tying 3. Either way, it's clear that Kevin Durant is the guy who's going to create for you. OKC runs the exact same play they ran for Durant to tie the game at the end of regulation. A double pin down for Durant out on top. Durant was going to be open coming around as Gasol doesn't step up and Prince is trailing. Tony Allen simply goes back to his man and is probably as surprised as we are that Fisher breaks off the play way too early and throws a very crappy bounce pass that's intercepted. This ended OK's chances to win. So there you have it, sports fans. Russell Westbrook would undoubtedly help Oklahoma City in a game like this because the defense is so good. If you have another guy that can create their own shot, get to the free throw line, that's really going to help you. However, he does have issues with decision making, but I would think that in one of these games at least he would have turned the tide and given them a win. However, if they're not going to play Kevin Martin down the stretch and have Sefolosha in there, which boggles my mind because, again, you don't need Sefolosha in there to guard Tony Allen. You need another guy that can create a shot. So this is all on Scott Brooks in my mind. And the fact they won't double down is also just, they're going to lose because of it. And unless they can adjust, it's not going to happen. And I showed you in overtime how doubling worked and was very effective, especially with the shooters that Memphis has. So perhaps they can adjust and change things around, but it's pretty much too late. 96% of all teams up 3-1 win the series. And there's no doubt that Memphis will be another one in the long line of winners. Well, thanks for joining us. Don't miss our post-game show tomorrow night after Game 5 of the Grizzlies versus Thunder. And also don't forget at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?